Good afternoon. It's just afternoon. This is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady. I'm coming into you on Sunday, early afternoon. When I sat down, it was before midday, and then I went down a rabbit hole. I was trying to find some documents, and then I started up opening things. So we've all done it. So here I am at the end of another week. At the first week in December is gone. Wow. And here we are in the second week. It's already the 7th, it'll be the 8th on Monday. And it's gone by like that. It was a short but felt like a very long week, which extended into Saturday for me. So I worked my full-time job. I took Friday off because I have stepped into SRT, which is spirit release therapy. I did two very fascinating, very interesting, mind-blowing days with Lara Starr, and I feel like I'm stepping onto a whole new. It's not just a path. I feel like I'm stepping onto a spaceship. If I'm honest, I can see like a ship here. I also had a I did with somebody who I met a few years ago in another group who actually lives in Massachusetts. And I think all of us get excited if we meet people actually live in our state or a state away, because you don't feel quite so. I always feel like I'm the person on the East Coast and everybody's central USA or West Coast. So it's always great. So we landed up having meeting up on the computer, and she had been guided to ask me for messages, so I gave her a reading, a download, and then she reciprocated. And what was interesting was she saw galactics, which she hadn't before. And as always, the dragons always have to come in and surprise people. But there was a really, really big white dragon that had come in during the session I did with her, which was my dragon. So in the last couple of weeks, I've acquired individual dragons. And if you've been following me for any time, you will know that in the past, and still now, I connect with collectives rather than individual dragons. And when I asked several years ago, did I not have any? And they said, oh, you have hundreds, you have thousands of dragons all around you all the time, which since has been validated by several people who have said that even in my Akashic records, in every lifetime, there were dragons. So dragons have been around me, with me. And for the longest time, I felt like, is that all I have? I mean, it's great having dragons, but I have dragons that shapeshift. So they say they can become angels, they can be this, they can be that. But I just have these huge collectives. And not everybody they're telling me that not everybody can connect with collectives because of the size of the energy. But recently, because of the work that they have guided me to, which is SRT, they were reminding me about who these personal dragons were. So the first one that came through was Seeley, who is my rainbow obsidian protector dragon. He's my gatekeeper, my guardian. He's this massive black rainbow dragon that just opens his wings and protects everything. He also showers me each day in rainbow obsidian dust, and as it settles on me, it sets so that I am protected, which is always it's beautiful in the morning when I do that. And then at night, he does the same thing to encapsulate me so that in my dream state, I'm protected as well. And I shared this, I think, last week or a couple of weeks ago, that as I've started to do this now twice a day, it's made a huge difference to my quality of sleep. I don't wake up as much. And when I do, I feel it's almost like turning over and going back to sleep. So that's been a huge difference. So this week, he is my protector. dragon who sits above everything, and he calls in. He tells me he can call in whatever I need at the time. So it's just like he just says, "You're needed over here." Um, then this beautiful white, and I saw her as this beautiful white feathered dragon, huge. And first of all, I heard peace, and I assumed, which isn't always the right thing to do, I assumed that she was the dragon of peace. A couple of days later, she said, "No, that's my name. My name is Peace," and she is part of the Vatican dragons that I've connected to. But she is my dragon who complements the Seelie, who is the black dragon. So again, you've got the black and the white, and they are the divine masculine and divine feminine who have risen to sit with me. So he is the fighting dragon, and she's the peaceful dragon. So I thought that was interesting, and I found some images that I posted on my Facebook page, and then a couple of others popped up because I've seen a lot of these images, even though they're AI generated. I've actually seen dragons that look like that, like the owl dragon, and there was one here that I posted as well. But what I wanted to share today was how interesting it's been to be using the Oracle deck again of the dragons. This one, the Dragon Magic, because for the most part, dragons are very magical. And this week, I pulled them intuitively, so they have been meant for the day. So the first one I pulled was Dragon Love, which says, when your human heart breaks, we fly by your side. We can help you to heal, regrow, and strengthen your beautiful heart. Let us in, let us help, and know you will go on. And of course, we had the full cold moon, and then Dragon Court. We dragons love a just outcome. Our might is on your side, and we will stand by you until justice has been done. Hear us roar this pledge to you. Justice is yours. And then there's Dragon Awakening. It's easy to slip back into sleep, human child. The world does not want you to remember, but we will never let you forget the magnificence of your being. We will awaken you. And that has really felt like sort of what has been happening for me the last few weeks, sort of leading up to completing this level 2. They gave me many upgrades. I also I talked to a couple of people, but I also had an interesting experience where the base of my spine, so my sacral chakra, was vibrating. I mean, vibrating like it felt like my cell phone was vibrating. And after a while, it got really annoying and almost uncomfortable, and it was this intense vibrating. And again, it took me a while, and I'm like, oh, why don't I ask what is the purpose? And it was actually dragon fire that was burning away all of the old that had been sitting. Actually, I heard all the old shit. They were burning that away at the base of my spine, because that's where I've held all my old, not just this lifetime, but lifetimes. And they wanted to burn that away, and then the flame went all the way up my spinal column. So they literally burnt that away and shot it up. Thankfully it didn't burn, but I felt that like literally and it was about 24 hours of this vibrating. It sort of died down, and then it came back up again, and died down and came back again. But it was intense for 24 hours. So that was a real dragon awakening. It certainly woke me up. Then the dragons talked about dragon connection. Dragons know loyalty. When we connect, it's deep and enduring. Whether you desire a friend, lover, or partner, use this energy to create true companionship in your precious life. So they can be many. So they're telling me They're many things to many people. Um, it's my dragon. There's a few dragons here. Dragon love. I like this one. Love endures, preserves, and creates conditions for growth. We dragons now offer all you need to create loving bonds that enrich and inspire you. Open your heart wide and be ready to receive. And then yesterday was Dragon's Delight. Your laughter is music to we dragons. We wish for you the uplifting energy of laughter, making you so light you can fly high with us. And then today, it was Dragon Fire. And I can't make this up, right? This is what I pulled earlier this morning. Dragon fire is magical. With it, we can reignite the sacred fire that burns within. Let us breathe gently upon this now. Let the healing of the dragon flame within begin. So that is, I just got body chills. So that was for the end of the week, and at the beginning of the week started this activation that I got. I'd love to hear if any of you have had similar, and it might not be dragons because so they're telling me that I have many guides and angels and all of those things, but my dragons they're just going, it's just the dragons. I'm also, the last couple of days I was drawn to burn a candle while I'm doing work. I've also got into the habit of burning sage. So my poor air filter is working overtime. I do burn sage, but I've been doing it more often. I feel more guided to do that, to just get rid of all the negative stuff. It is cold. I don't know what it is. There was so we've had snow this week. There was also a frost. It's 36, but it's been in single digits, so it hasn't really been open the windows either. So I'm going to pull some cards, but I did also want to share with you that because a lot of you that have been following me know that one of the many reasons that I've also been drawn to this work of spirit release is because of my son, who also has, I wasn't sure at the time, but he had a spirit release treatment. I think we waited about 5 or 6 weeks. Again, I have lessons in patience. And I think I shared last week, it sort of was very eye-opening and very confirming to me and my son, but also a little bit scary because it's like, okay, so now what does this mean? So after my class yesterday, I learned lots of interesting things to understand, to put in my toolbox. And I'm going to be in practice sessions now. So I think it's going to be, I think by the summer, I'm hoping that I will be a certified medium I'm not hoping, I am going to be. I need to change that. I will be a certified medium with Lara Stars, SRT, by the summer. It usually takes about 6 months. I've actually got to be a facilitator first and write those beautiful reports. I'm also being very guided, again, because of my son. And this morning, the dragons, they've been very active the last few days. I mean, very chatty, but on point. So my son has pointed out that my hands are very powerful. This finger apparently is very powerful because the 2 days that I was doing SRT, and actually before that even, I used my hands. If you followed me, I am very visual with my hands. But the 2 days that I was taking this class, and it's been a while since my hands have been on fire, and my whole body, like because of the energy and the frequency of it, which was why they had been getting me to raise my vibration higher and higher and higher, because the energy that is, and my hands are hot now, so you can actually see that here they're getting hot because I'm talking about it. I need the fire to work with all of the things that we encounter. And I was sitting in class and I'm like, my hands are. But my son says when I do too much of this, he can feel my energy. So he has to say, put your hands down, Mum. So I'm going. But I've noticed when I channel, because I've watched myself on a couple of videos, when I'm channeling, I use this finger and this hand, and it's almost like this is like my wand, is what it feels like. So, yeah, just an interesting observation. But so this morning, like yesterday and this morning, they were saying to me that I needed, and again, I can't make this stuff up, they told me to go and find who the patron saint of mental illness was, and then I needed to find the dragon that either works with the saint or is she a shapeshifter? And they said she, and her name is Saint Dymphony, which I've vaguely heard before. It's almost like, again, it's awakening for me. So I've put it out to my collectives, and I'm waiting for that information. I might actually sit down later on today and see if I can channel that in, because I think it's going to be important, because I feel the reason that I've been taken to this SRT is because there are so many people there that are under psychic attack that may or may not have mental illness, but it's looking like mental illness, and that this dragon or dragons can be facilitators in helping pull some of it apart. For my son, it's pulling parts of what he has and trying to get him onto a healing track. I was also told, what was the sentence I got? The butterfly effect, which of course, thank goodness for Google, the butterfly effect. So I hope this was actually out. So I might have to, I'll find out afterwards if it's actually recording or whether you can hear me. So the butterfly effect, which is take one thing, and actually there was the butterfly effect for actual mental health. So let me check. Butterfly effect. Butterfly effect is the idea that a small, seemingly trivial event may ultimately result in something much larger in consequences. So that makes sense. So what I wanted to share, and this isn't to scare any of you, but one of the things that we were told about was stepping into this work, that we, even if we're not affected by the entities and the beings and all of the things that could possibly be around or attached, that if it's not us, maybe a family member or pets could be affected. So I filed that away, and it was about 2 hours after the 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we were sitting down for dinner, and my son suddenly started, and sometimes he has some issue. We think it's medication related, but he was very shaky and was having trouble eating, and then he was just like shaking like all over. So I literally we stopped and said, why don't you ground yourself? Why don't you do blah, 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 blah. One thing I forgot was to ask him to call in his new guide, or even I forgot that I could call in my guides to help. But anyway, he settled down, finished dinner, and then he went to get up from the table and literally went down. I mean, literally, it was like somebody took his legs out from underneath him and he went down. And then he tried to get back up again and he was taken down again. Um, I, of course, mother here, jumps in to, soothe him. My nursing picks up. I took his blood pressure, his pulse. His pulse was through the roof. Um, Eventually, I got him back onto the chair, but then he had trouble standing up. Every time he stood up, his legs would give way. It was about 30 minutes. Eventually, I got him into his bedroom so that he could relax, and it then hit me that it was a psychic attack. As I went to my laundry, which is, I'm in a condo, so on the second floor where his bedroom is, I went to the laundry and I got this whiff of just nasty smell, which we had been told. And if any of you have encountered reptilians, apparently they don't smell too good. And I was like, oh, it was a reptilian attack. So eventually, with lots of sage and grounding, connected Rich. Rich called in he's got an angelic guide, called him in, and he said, you needed to call me in. We're like, duh, of course. Gave us some instructions about what to do in the future when I'm doing this work. The suggestion was, all the things that I do anyway, sage, separate, which we do, but to close the door. My son apparently will feel better if I close the door, even though we know these beasties they don't worry about doors or windows or any of that. But he will feel better about that, and not to discuss it with him, which all makes sense, right? I was just telling him about some things which I think provoked the attack. Now, my energy, and any of you that can perceive it or see it, is extremely bright and extremely high, but I have to work at it, whereas he isn't. And we've got to work on that. So our several things at the moment is every night, last 4 or 5 nights, he has put on high vibe music. Actually, right now as we speak, I have some singing bowls recorded on downstairs and I'll tell you about that in a moment. So I'm using high vibrational as well as saging. I've got sage spray. We've got salt, which reminds me he needs to get in the shower. So salt baths, salt showers, all help. So doing all the spiritual hygiene, and it has to be done every day. So that's why the candles burning is good for me. And I actually took a picture so next to my computer, I intuitively picked these, and they will probably change. But while I was doing the work, I felt I needed to bring in these crystals next to my computer. I have my orgonite pyramid, which helps with the EMF, which sat outside just before the snow. I put on my orgonite today, which they reminded me needs to be recharged. Yes, I know. So all of these things are just as scary as they can be. And if you caught me a month or so ago, I was talking about how the dragon said, okay, we need to pull down that I don't want to see. It's time for you to see, and it's time for you to do the work. And that was when they got me to remember that in past lives, or a lifetime, or they're going 3 lifetimes, I was actually a fighting dragon. So I need to pull on that, and I put on my armor and all of that stuff. But they're saying, remember that that's what I did. See the hands going when it's. So I've also had a lot of light language come through me. I don't speak it. I don't even know if it is for me to speak it. I've written several pages recently, which the dragons helped me translate. So, yeah, there's a lot of things shifting and changing. I'm also uh, now offering, I think I mentioned it last week, I am going to change it on my website, which I have a note here to do, that I'm offering channeled readings. I use as I'm drawn to. But if you have a question, if you have something going on, something that you need either confirmed or next steps or what is it, they're telling me I can do this because I can pull on higher knowledge. So if that's something that interests you, just connect with me either via my website, which is eastcoastdragonlady.com, or email me at eastcoastdragonlady@gmail.com. So we'll get on to some cards. So I think that's all I wanted to share, unless something comes through during this. So let's see, what is the theme for this week? I think, what are the dragons saying? So let's see with these cards. I hope that first part recorded, otherwise I'll be doing this all again. Self-sabotage. Procrastination, again. It's that time of year. And feeling lost. So let's build on that. Oh, the other thing I was drawn to was my crow deck, because I also had a message about crone energy, connected to crow energy. So the crows are saying observation this week. I also see, let me pull another two from then. Oh, communication. And risk. I'm hearing if you don't take a risk. So I'll read those in a moment. Let's see what else they want me to. Oh yeah, the goddesses. So again, I can feel heat rising in me. Freya, bold, unleash your adventurous side, take risks and be daring. Aphrodite, inner goddess, and Isolot, undying love, which goes with the dragon message. Just do these. This is for this week. Self-acceptance. Guardian angel. We need some of those. And compassion. So let's see what they actually mean. So the Akashic cards are self-sabotage, undermining your success by procrastinating, negative self-talk, or fear of failure. So if you're feeling fearful, it's time to change that. You could be feeling lost, wandering aimlessly, but time and self-reflection brings clarity and purpose. So even though you're feeling lost, it's time to reflect, to bring clarity and purpose, so that you can get out of this self-sabotaging cycle, is what it's feeling like. It feels like it's something that comes up, you do well, and then it comes back up again. And procrastination, of course, we're all good at that, is putting things off because becomes a bad habit. So use management strategies. So yeah, how many of us have had lists that we don't get to, and we take that list and put it on the next day, and then you get through that list and you don't finish it, and you just keep adding to it. I have post-its that I find that I haven't even finished. So yeah, I'm a procrastinator sometimes, not always. And then the crows are about observation. So this week it's about us observing who we are. They're telling me to take a step back and look back over the year, think of and find all the positive things that have happened for you this year. So it's good to take inventory. Communication is really important. Crows are really good at it. If you've ever heard them calling, it's unmistakable. And then risk. That's about taking risks, right? So as you know, these were saying we can be procrastinators. Sometimes you have to take risks, right? There's nothing wrong in taking risks. So then the goddess cards are Freya, about being bold and unleash your adventurous side. Take risks and be daring. So there we go. You know, there's the card of risk. So when it's double, so we've got the crow and we've got Freya. So let's pay attention to risk. Now I'm going to put a positive on that, but you could look at it as be careful about taking risks this week. That's never good either. So yeah, use your observation skills. Undying love. The love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. So love is love is love is what, and they're showing me. Open your heart. Yeah. So love is love is love. Aphrodite, inner goddess. Awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. So I've got some earrings that look a bit like this. So there's her beautiful red hair that I used to have. I used to have very long red hair. Oh, so the cards are all going all over the place now. Okay. And then self-acceptance. This is about accepting yourself for who you are. Compassion, not only for yourself but for others. And guardian angels. Sometimes they feel like we neglect them, is what they're saying. So they're saying, remember, we're sitting up here. We're up here. However you want to view us, we're up here. So, and now they're reminding me that I didn't tell you about the goddess of mental illness. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. But they're saying, okay, there's a message coming through for me about they found the dragon. So they're going to be connecting me to the dragon that works with Saint Dymphony. So thank you. First of all, I thought I hadn't mentioned it, but I had. So, yeah, we've had snow, we've had cold. I think it feels like we're almost in the depths of winter, but I don't think it's officially winter yet. Isn't it that weird? Like December 22nd or something is some date like that. I don't know why I've got December 22nd. But I hope everybody has a good week. I will be back either in the week if something comes up, something I want to share, or I'll definitely be back next Saturday or Sunday with another update and message for the week. I will post this on my Facebook page and on YouTube, and there'll be pictures of the cards that I've pulled as well. So have a good week, and I'll be back soon. Thank you.